David, after a blowout loss to the Clippers, you stressed it's one game. It counts as one. There's a chance to respond. I assume the message, the thinking is similar?
Yeah, but we got punked, and we didn't play well enough, and they came out with the right intensity, and we didn't. I thought we let some open shots early in the game affect us how we played defensively. And, this is a team that does that. I mean, there's a reason why they have historic plus-minus numbers throughout this season is they put people away. So you got to have a much better start than that. We can't come out like that kind of mentality. I'm not sitting here tonight talking about the 1-1 thing. Not tonight. We're not going to flush that. We've got to be better. We know that. That being said, it's nice to know that you got a win underneath your belt, but that's not what this is right now in the present. So we'll react the right way, like we did, in Game 3 in LA. Bring a different intensity. Look at what they did differently. React accordingly. And I would expect a much better effort from our guys on Friday night in Denver.
What was the most concerning part about the way you lost?
Physicality. Bottom line. I thought they towed the line. I thought the game was reffed very physical. I thought we joined the party late. When you join the party late, the refs look at you as reactionary. The whistle doesn't go your way. So you can't be reactionary in these playoff games. You have to do it from the tip, from the start. We know that. I could tell in that room. The eyes looking back at me know that. That's the reality of what just happened. So we'll go back. Obviously, it's a really tough series and a really good team, but I'll say it again, you can't get punked the first 6 minutes. They set the tone. You can't get down this building. I believe it was 34-14. That's going to lead to some bad things. So going home, knowing that we can be much better is a positive. But tonight, we should not flush that. We should be thinking about that we got to get a lot better.
Because you mentioned that you guys were kind of reactionary to the physicality.
Yeah.
Was there any thought of taking the starters out earlier when it looked like it was starting to get messy with Westbrook and Jokic? Did he foul himself out purposely?
No.
Did he thought of taking the starters out any earlier?
I did not. No. I felt like those guys wanted to go back out there and play. I felt like they needed to find the rhythm of physicality. I think that they thought we were trying to junk up the game, which we weren't. We were just trying to play much harder than we did in the first half. And obviously when he fouled out, got mauled out with about a minute left. They got to sit the whole quarter. They'll get to sit tomorrow, all day Friday, and get ready for Friday night. So, no, I was not just going to sit the guys at halftime. That's not what we're doing here. We're going to try to get better and play, feel what it was out there. It's a tough loss, but it's one.
Coach, what can you guys do to kind of free Jamal a little bit? Is it a matter of, a pressure release of, letting Aaron or somebody else bring the ball up and running them off screens? Or, what can you do to get them, get Dort off of them?
Yeah, I thought in Game 1, Aaron and CB took a lot of the responsibilities like you're talking about, which allows us to get hits, and free him up. We know with Dort holding and grabbing him all over the court, it's like you have to get multiple screens to give him space to play. And we talked about it at halftime. We have to get hits in the backcourt if he is the lead initiator, like you're saying. And that's part of the physical part of the game. You have to be attentive to what's happening. Your teammates getting pressured, and that's something we can get better at for sure. And like I said, I can sit here and say, again, it's 1-1, but that's another thing where you see your teammate out there being attacked by a guy. We have to do a better job of seeing that and making plays for him so he can play in space. Same thing for Nikola. Better spacing behind some of the switching they were doing, switching the smalls onto him, getting underneath his legs. We got to start lower on the floor, have tighter catches so we can play in offensive areas where we succeed. And we didn't do that tonight.
Real quick, just for clarity, you mentioned feeling like the guys wanted to go back out there and play. Is that a conversation you have with them, or is it ultimately just kind of you making that call on your own?
No, when I walked in the locker room, I knew they wanted to go out and play. It was very obvious. I was going to play those guys regardless. Like I said, that's a lot of proud people in that room that want to go back out there and compete.
And then they go to Jalen Williams pretty easy, the other Jalen Williams early in this game. Just what impact did you feel like he had on Jokic?
Yeah, he fronted him. He got underneath his legs. The play he fouled out on. The officiating crew was good communicating that. They said, it could have been a defensive foul. They felt like the intent of Nikola was more aggressive. So we have to deal with that contact, and if they're going to front him, we have to space the court better. And actually, I thought when we did space it correctly, we missed a lot of wide open shots with all the guys in the paint there, packing the paint against his post-ups in isolation. So that's something you can build on when you show you had good shots, but then your intent to get back defensively has got to be a lot better.
Coach, a lot was made about the experience that teams had, and that's why you're able to stay in the game one and then obviously come away with the win. So because you've been in these positions, whether you go back to the last series or last year against Minnesota, is that experience something you can rely on too? Not that you want to get your butt kicked in the playoffs, but it happened and y'all turned the page.
Yeah, and I think that the guys have always responded well to it. But just because you responded well before doesn't mean you're going to. So our whole focus as a group has to be about Game 3, yes, but what are you learning from Game 2? And as a team and each individual in that room, taking a look at yourself and saying, what can I do better? Me looking at the tape, seeing what they did differently, and reacting the right way for our guys to get them more organized against things that we saw tonight.
You've praised the toughness of Michael Porter Jr. a number of times.
Yeah.
In a physical series, where is his fitness right now, and is that affecting him?
It is. And, it's funny. You can tell when he shoots it, he's having a hard time with a full release at the top of his shot. It's almost like it's stopping at 90%, 85%. And the other thing with Mike, and he's giving great effort, the two-handed rebound against this team is so important. You can't go up with one. And tonight, I mean, when I say punked, I'm talking in a basketball term. 24 fast break points, 20 second chance points. They dominated the paint, and part of that is the rebounding. And it is a team effort thing. It's not just about blocking out. It's about meeting the ball at the highest point, and he is affected that way. But again, I think it was really good, and I know I'm not trying to throw a positive out there, to see the ball go in for him in the second half. That's kind of why I left him out there. I want to see if he could find a rhythm. He had a couple shots rim out. But that's such an important thing for us if they're going to double and triple and shrink the floor and all those things. Michael has to eat on that weak side. So if he can see the ball going, that's really going to help us.
David, you guys survived the turnovers in Game 1. 21 more tonight. Was there a common thread in terms of lacking ball security in terms of what they were able to do defensively?
Yeah, I mean, they got into us, and, we brought up the screening earlier. We have to screen better. Also, I thought there was multiple times where a ball was on the ground, and there's a 50-50 chance to go get it after they had a deflection, and they seem to get every single one. And now they're running out the other way. So there's so many fundamental basketball things about that game, being the reason why it got away so quickly. And like I said, not flushing it, but then we will turn the page at some point. And when we do, and we open up that next chapter, we'll say, okay, it is 1-1, and we are playing Friday night. But in the meantime, tonight, take that personally. Everybody with this organization, take that personally, and that'll help you succeed in Game 3. Thank you.